Hey guys, it's Levi from the Future Maker Lab here. Today we're going to be talking about drones and how you can use them to make money as a career field. It's a really big job market that's opening up like crazy over the last couple years. Right now, Sam is inside talking to Grant Janzen. He's the WSU Tech drone instructor. Let's kick it on over to him.
Well, hello everyone. This is Sam with the Future Maker Mobile Learning Lab. Our goal is to demonstrate CTE fields and have fun doing it. And today I have with me Grant Janzen. How are you doing, Grant?
I'm doing well. How are you, Sam?
Doing well. So we're here to demonstrate some stuff about drones for you guys. Grant, what can you tell me about certifications does it take to fly a drone at all?
It's an FAA regulated industry. So to kind of get into the industry, you've got to be a Part 107 commercial drone pilot. We do teach that here at WSU Tech in the first semester of our classes. That is one of the very beginning prereqs that we kind of get going. That way our students are able to take it and make money anytime that they have the opportunity to.
Thinking of drones as a tool rather than a toy, what are some of the different industries in which you might find drone piloting?
Absolutely. So it's very common nowadays in inspection work. So whether that's for insurance or agricultural inspection, you can find it in surveying or construction management, planning out buildings and stuff that you're very useful for. And then you also have the kind of the flip side of you've got the law enforcement using for search and rescue, or military uses them quite often for reconnaissance or strike capability.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. So whatever you're interested in, drones have got something for you.
So what kind of stuff other than the FAA regulations do you have to know as a drone pilot every day?
Yeah, so besides all of the airspace and regulation that the FAA requires, you got to know, number one, the safety part of it is a huge thing. How can we avoid hitting people, hitting buildings? What kind of insurance do we need to carry, things like that. We don't want to jeopardize equipment that's very expensive, and we also don't want to jeopardize anyone's life. So other things, just how can we utilize some of the back-end data processing of that information that we collect? So a picture is great, you know, they say it's worth 1,000 words. Well, if you're taking a drone shot, 1,000 words may not be enough to your client. So you might actually have to pull some numbers instead of just words.
Interesting. And then how much would you expect a drone pilot to make as far as a starting wage goes? And then once they're a little bit more experienced, how much could they expect to make?
Absolutely. It really depends on where you're at in the US. If you're kind of looking more in the Midwest, you can obviously kind of expect, it'll be a little lower than the coasts, but somewhere between 50 to 70,000 starting pay. And then that's obviously starting. So if you go to the East and West Coast, I've heard anywhere from, California will start you at somewhere, 80, 90. To there's a couple companies in California that do military contracting that can go up as high as 180 to start.
Very cool.
So those are going to be some expensive, and you're going to have to be pretty good at your craft, but you can have an opportunity to make a lot of money.
All right, guys, now that we've learned about the type of education it takes to become a drone pilot, let's go see how they're used in the field.
Ready?
Yes, I am.
Nice, let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Bailey knows he's walking. So we're out here with Mike Kelly, and he's the Senior UAS Coordinator for Evergy. Mike, you want to tell us a little bit about what your job and what you do on a daily basis?
Yeah, so working with Evergy, everything, drone related or UAS, unmanned aircraft systems, whatever you want to call it. We do quite a bit with them. We'll do visual inspections. Today we're out at a substation, so we do visual inspections, infrared inspections, which is the the thermal imaging, looking for hot spots, things like that.
What are some advantages of using a drone for something like this?
Yeah, so specifically, for a substation, with a drone, we don't have to enter the sub, we don't have to get near the equipment, this high energized equipment. With the drone, we can fly up, zoom in, zoom out. We can get closer if we need to. We're not putting anyone's life in danger, anything like that. Then it's also more efficient. And then taking off.
That's awesome. Looks really stable.
Okay. Yeah, so when it's hooked up to GPS, it locks in. Both the drone itself will hold its position, even in wind, it'll correct itself. And then the camera's on a gimbal as well with 3-axis stabilization to where the video's rock solid. Yeah. So we get a live video feedback here on the controller, so we can see exactly what the drone's seeing. We can switch to the zoom camera. We have a wide angle, we have an FPV one. So just to give you that situational awareness of where you're flying.
So is there like a max wind speed that you can fly in with that?
So with this one, we've flown up to about 35, 40 mile an hour. Wow. And it'll rock, but that camera's stabilized, so it's pretty rock solid. When you start to zoom in, it starts to shake a little at that point, but I mean, that's kind of expected as you zoom in.
So what kind of things are you looking for when you're actually doing an inspection?
So yeah, we look at the insulators, all the connection points. You know, in a substation, if we have thermal on, which we don't right now, but we'd look for any hot spots, things like that. Mainly, you know, really anything that looks out of the ordinary. And I know I say that from my perspective, but after flying and you get experience, you kind of notice things pretty quick. They'll stick out like a sore thumb. But you know, like here we can zoom in and check.
Wow, that's cool.
All of these connections here, and it'll, you know, it takes a little bit to get that focus. There we go.
That's crazy how much detail you can actually see from that far away too.
Yep. So, you know, we're probably, 75 feet away from that. Actually, I could tell you because we have the rangefinder. We are 71, so that's pretty close. So 70 feet away from that piece of equipment we're looking at right now. And we're able to see nuts and bolts, cotter pins, all that good stuff.
Wow.
That level of detail. So, you know, connection points like that, really that's mostly a lot of what we're looking for. Just making sure everything is hooked up still the way it is and no wear and tear. So like this insulator strand, we would look for, you know, any cracking, anything like that. So these, you know, these bells look pretty good here. No evident cracking or any breaks, nothing along those lines. So we'll just kind of zoom out here and pan around a little more. But yeah, that's, you know, from a really high level, that's pretty much what we're looking at. On a normal mission, you know, typically we'll either get notice that something is damaged or, you know, they see it from the ground and they want to take a closer look with the drone. So we'll, you know, get the drone out here, get it up in the air and start zooming in and out on that specific piece of equipment and get them a lot more detail than what they're able to from the ground. Get that. So when we're looking at structures, we typically want about a like 45-degree angle looking down at it. So that just gives you the best viewing angle, and it's kind of our standard moving forward. So again, just looking at all these insulators, these bells, making sure none of them are broke, there's no wear and tear on them, all that stuff. The connection plates there, the jumpers, everything looks good.
It's so cool seeing how far the technology's changed since drones came out. Because I remember like my cousin got a drone when they were just starting to, you know, enter the market, and it's nothing like this.
Yes, yeah. So, you know, when we got our first ones, they would last maybe max 15 minutes. And we thought that was pretty good back then. So this is what we call a high-res grid photo. So we'll get up and frame this structure in this box. So you can see this box that's kind of superimposed on the screen, and it's got these individual grids. So when you take this image, it actually zooms in on each one of those grids and snaps that high resolution image. And then we can go through later and run it through a batch software where it stitches all those images together and gives you one large composite image.
The job outlook on this field, do you think there's going to be a lot of growth in the drone industry?
Yeah, I really do. I think there will be. Specifically, you know, we're in the utility space today, kind of exploring that, but I think that's just going to grow. And then there's, you know, the agriculture side of things, being able to manage crops, stuff like that. They're talking about package delivery, a lot of cool different applications that the industry is just going to keep growing, and I think it's going to open more and more opportunities out there.
So if there was somebody that was maybe on the fence about getting into this field and they were thinking they might want to go forward and actually give this a shot, what would you say to them?
I would say, you know, if it interests you, I would say go for it. Look for some form of training, whether it be the college route or some other, you know, maybe a 2-year degree or some technical college. there's a lot more opportunity out there right now than there was even a few years ago.
I want to thank Mike and everybody at Evergy for letting us come out here and film this. This was really, really cool. If you want to see more stuff like this, you should definitely check out our channel. Be sure to like and subscribe. And Mike, seriously, man, thank you. This was really, really cool.
Absolutely. Always happy to share how Evergy uses technology.
To recap, we talked about how drones are used for a lot more than just recreational flying and how you can actually use them in a career field to make money. We looked at one of these career fields specifically by going over to Evergy and showing how they use drones to inspect their electrical lines. If you want to learn how to do stuff like this yourself, you do need a Part 107 license to do drones commercially. If you want one of those, you can go down in the description. We're going to leave a link to WSU Tech's drone program here. They're not the only ones that do this, but they are ones that do it particularly well. If you want to learn more about us, you can follow us at www.futuremakerlab.com or follow us on our socials. See you next time.